Hello, my name is Liz Dung, and today I will outline the history of the phones. Here's a little chart about every single event that has happened to our lovely friends, which we carry around with us today. The first known phone in the world is called the tin can phone, also known as the lover's phone. It's used by families all over Europe in the early 19th century. But the problem here is the wires, the strings, or at least the wires, aren't long enough for long distance communication. All this is just for family fun, not for actual outside communication, or else the wires has to be really, really long. Next came the first known telephone. Here's an example. It's created during the 1930s by a man who wanted the world to have a better communication. But the first known telephone, the first ever telephone that has ever been created was actually in 1877. Several inventors, such as Edison, have created monograms, which can record sounds and replay them at other places. With this new kind of technology, the phones have reached far and wide all over the world. With this example, you just need to dial the number of the person you want to call, like this. But these phones require lots and lots of wires and also metals. Therefore, really costly, and the world's supplies then was very low. But in 1982, a new breakthrough began with the development of wireless phones known as cell phones, or hand phones to be precise. They're quite easy to use. You flip them up and they have the number you need to call your loved ones. But they are quite hard to use because the system to open them is quite archaic, so nobody knows much about them. Here's the underside and wiring of one. You can see the computer chips and the buttons are aligned perfectly, but inside there's a little golden chip in order to communicate and record the sound. These phones have brought a new benefit for telecommunication, but the use is still very low because nobody can get far and wide with them. Until in 2000, until the first day of the new century, the 21st century, the smartphones appeared. These are two examples. One named Huawei, and the other one is the classical iPhone. They were very easy to use. You will just search them open, unlock them, and there you go, the settings. They have touch screens, and you can update them to iOS over 11, the highest of which is 12. With this kind of technology, you can do anything. Send mails, make calls, and have everything at your hands. You can even play games, take photos like this. You can also even search the internet if there's any. With this kind of technology, humans have advanced forward a large step. From the first known iPhone, the iPhone 1, or known simply as the iPhone, it has reached to the iPhone 5. Now there's a new brand called the iPhone X. Super advanced. Well, others, like this one, have high security and require good, service and identification. I can't open it because this is my dad, so it can only recognize his face or fingerprint, and it will reject any other entries. But using phones isn't the best way for us to communicate. Using them too much can sometimes cause disasters. Like nowadays, people often use phones in the streets, but they don't take caution in what's happening around them. They are not aware of their surroundings. For example, many people often get into accidents while driving, walking through streets, or sometimes just leaning on the balcony of a building. And then disaster strikes because they aren't paying attention to what's going to happen due to them using their phones. Therefore, we can call phones as both a benefit for telecommunication and other stuff, and also a horrible distraction causing many deaths worldwide. People even get electrocuted by their own phones in their bathrooms while they're taking a bath. But the pros outweigh the cons, and therefore phones are still our best friends and also the best invention in the world. Thank you.